Love, your daily dose of inspiration and encouragement. I'm your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and embrace the power of self-love? Well, have you come to the right place? Each day we'll dive into topics that will empower and inspire you on your journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Whether you're looking to cultivate healthy relationships, boost your confidence, or find balance in your life, this podcast is here to support your every step on the way. We believe that self-love is the foundation of living a fulfilled and joyful life. And together we explore practical tips, insightful interviews, and transformative stories that will leave you feeling inspired and motivated. So join me Monday through Friday as we embark on this daily adventure of self-love. Tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast to start your day on a positive note and discover the limitless potential within yourself. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Today is March 18th. Monday 2024, and today I have a very special guest because today we're talking about fitness and all of those great things that come along with fitness. And I have the beautiful Marci Scott that is with me right now. She is the CEO and the founder of Phoenix Tribe Fitness, correct?
Yes,
and I'm ready to dive into this because the month of March has been health, wellness, and well-being for me. Doing this, and I said, I cannot do this without finding some like-minded individuals along with myself that actually been through it. Right now, I'm going through my fitness training and everything right now, but you've been going through it, and you've been going through it for quite some years now. You actually made it to where now this is your lifestyle, but not only that, but this is your job. So if you can just share, little things with us right now.
Yeah, I created Phoenix Tribe Fitness. It's an online service dealing with nutrition and health and fitness. I created it back in 2020 during the pandemic when everybody, I think, decided to go online. And what I do is I offer holistic ways especially for my busy parents. That's where my target audience is, for busy parents, but it doesn't have to be specifically parents. It's really for anybody that's over 35, 40 years old. Because as we age, right, we start seeing a decline in our body, in our mind, in our mental stability, in our soul. And so what I like to do is provide very simple and holistic ways to be able to create something to feel better from the inside out. Because ultimately, right, aesthetically, everybody wants to look good, but how are your insides doing?
Right.
How's your mindset doing, right? So if all of that stuff is not connected, then we have a breakdown in our bodies, right? We have a breakdown in our minds. So that's what my company really, really is about. It's just about creating holistic ways, especially through nutrition, which is what I really focus on, because anybody can work out, right?
Yes.
However, what are you eating? You cannot out-train a bad diet.
I tried it. Look, but on that note, let's take a quick break, and then we come back. We're going to get deeper into this conversation, all right? It's your girl, you got it, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we will be right back.
This March, Ask Nyomi. Bridging the Gap presents to extraordinary guests who are breaking boundaries and sharing their unique perspectives. On March 14th, join us as we welcome Brian Reeves, a former U.S. Air Force officer turned relationship coach and author of Choose Her Every Day or Leave. Get ready for an eye-opening discussion on love, relationships, and the power of daily choices. Then, on March 28th, prepare to be captivated by Curtisan Remy Martin from the iconic Moonlight Bunny Ranch in Nevada. Hear her inspiring story as she challenges stereotypes and shines a light on the world of sex work. Don't miss these compelling conversations. Subscribe now and tune in to Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. so I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, well, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess Nyomi and Marci here on this season of Self-Love Podcast. And today we're talking about fitness for all, finding what works for you. And I am here with the beautiful Miss Marci Scott. She is the CEO and the owner of Phoenix Tribe Fitness. Welcome back. I am so excited for this. I truly am.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. All right. So before we begin, Marci, we do this every Monday through Friday here on the season of Self-Love. We always begin with a nice little guided meditation or breathing exercise where we kind of center ourselves before we get into the topic at hand. Because usually sometimes we miss things if we don't center ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes there's a message in everything that we do. Really. Mm-hmm. All right. Find a comfortable seated position and close your eyes. And let's begin. Inhale deeply through your nose, filling your lungs with fresh energy and vitality. Feel your chest and your abdomen expand your breath in. Hold your breath for a moment, focusing on the idea of exploring what works best for your body when it comes to fitness. Now exhale slowly and completely through your mouth, releasing any tension or doubt that you may have about your fitness journey. Let go of any preconceived notions and allow yourself to be open to new possibilities. Now, as you continue to breathe, imagine yourself embracing a sense of curiosity and empowerment when it comes to your fitness goals. Each inhale brings motivation and determination, while each exhale releases any barriers holding you back. Now take a few more deep breaths, affirming to yourself that you are capable of finding the fitness routine that works best for you. Embrace the idea of diversity and individuality in fitness, knowing that there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Now, when you are ready, gently open your eyes, feeling fresh and ready to explore the topic of fitness for all, finding what works with a renewed sense of mindfulness and openness. All right, my beautiful people, if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love Podcast, we do this every day, Monday through Friday. And truly it is to help us to be mindful of where we are at the moment, but also to center ourselves and prepare for whatever the topic is in hand, that we are able to get it all. All right. And again, we are here with Miss Marci Scott. She is the CEO and the owner of Phoenix Tribe Fitness here. And today we're talking about fitness for all and finding ways to work for you. And in our first segment, talking about embracing diversity in fitness. So for you, Marci, let's start by discussing why is it crucial to embrace diversity in fitness?
Embracing diversity, I mean, as you said in your guided meditation, right? There's not one program that works for all. What I'm realizing as I get older, because I am in fitness, what worked for me when I was 30 is not working for me now that how old am I? I'm 48. It's not working for me at 48. I've had back issues. I'm going through perimenopause. My body doesn't like to jump anymore. Like there's so many. My body's like, no, Slice, you're not doing that today. So you've got to find, and I say this on my posts all the time, and I tell my clients, when I have these one-on-one conversations with them before we even start, I always ask whether or not what they're going through, like what their life is like what their timing's like, whether or not they have any ailments or constraints that may prevent them from doing certain things, because what works for Tommy today may not work for Paul tomorrow. You know what I mean? So you got to find what works for you. If someone's really overweight, I'm not going to make them run or jump because it's already heavy on your knees and joints, right? Walking uphill on the treadmill is going to work your heart just as hard as if you were running. So there's really no point. If Peggy Sue, who's 22, likes to run. Well, darn it, I'm going to give you all the running in the world, right? Because that's what brings you joy. Me, I can't stand running. I ran when I was in my 30s. Tell me to run now. If I'm running, you better run because something's chasing us. Not running. So you've got to find something that's the first and foremost, find whatever fitness program you're going to stick with and make sure it's fun. And I use that word very loosely because most people don't find working out fun, right? I do. Like that's my source of release for everything. If I'm pissed off, I'm working off. If I'm upset, I'm working out. If I'm sad, I'm working out. Like I'm always going to find a way because it helps release all of that negative energy. Because while you're lifting a heavy pound dumbbell, you can't be pissed off at it because you need to focus your attention on what you're doing to make sure you have the right form. So that's my suggestion is always just find something that's going to be, fun for you and that if it's a group fitness class, some people like that. That's how I first got into the business is I started taking group fitness classes because I was afraid to go on the weight floor by myself as a woman. Nobody told me how. Oh, girl, yes. I was like intimidated to go on that floor. I remember living in Hollywood or going to the Hollywood 24-hour fitness gym, the one on Sunset. And I just remember, right. And I just remember seeing all these buffo dudes and girls. And I was like, I don't want to do this. But my desire to get healthier, the best way that I knew how was stronger than me being intimidated, right? So I joined group fitness classes, and that was like the gateway for me. Once I did that, there was no turning back. So, if somebody that may be intimidated, like I may have felt, and it's usually women that are feeling that way, I would suggest taking a group fitness class or going with a partner, you know what I mean? But whatever fitness you decide to do, find something that's compatible to what you want your body to look like and what you know that you can stick with. That's my suggestion.
Right. It's funny when you were first talking and you were saying, I agree with everything you were saying because I had a rude awakening the other day and I posted it, because I'm going through this fitness journey right now.
I see that.
And I had to post this because usually my go-to has always been, my track and my basketball, it's always helped me to, right back into place, everything goes right back. And I'm like, okay, I forget I am 51 years old. That was like me in my 20s and my 30s that I was able to do that, And when I say that, I gave y'all the light version of the video or on there, but it was like, oh my God, like, honey, do you understand? You're probably a good 80 pounds heavier than you were when you were doing all of these things. And it's okay. So what was happening for me is that my ego was steady getting in the way. Steady getting in the way. And it was like, girlfriend, you got to go sit down somewhere. Better yet, you dance very well. Go dance a little bit of that off. And so now what's making it fun for me is that I dance through some of the things that I do. So I don't go as hard as I used to because I'm not proving anything to anyone. That's the first thing is that, and tell me if you agree. When I chose and I decided that March was going to be my first month of truly kicking off a new lifestyle. And when I introduced it to the world, to internet, I did bring it as a body source, okay, because I want to get my body back in shape, which is a little bit of trueness, but it really wasn't. I needed to get my whole body, mentally, spiritually, everything, and the food's eating right, because my mom was just diagnosed with dementia. And so for that, we're in the early stages of it. And so for that, I have to make sure that I am mentally and spiritually and emotionally here for her. So if I have all this gulk in me and I'm sick and headaches and migraines and not feeling well, aching, how am I supposed to give her the best care that's needed for her? You know what I'm saying? If this is all that I'm going through, because I just want to do what? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So in that process, I had to kind of switch what my why was, and meaning that it's not about the size. That's just an added addition to it. But it's just focusing on why are you doing it? Are you doing this to look good, to fit in this dress? for a wedding. That's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that that's temporary. I spent thousands of dollars, like I said before, with trainers and everybody like this. And one thing I love that you said is that I'm going to ask them,
Mm-hmm.
what are you going through right now? What's your body? What's your type of whatever? These questions, like after I had my last baby at 40 years old, I was on bed rest the whole entire time.
Mm.
So yes, the whole entire time I was on bed rest, could not walk. So as me trying to get back in front of the camera and stuff, I went to a woman this time thinking she would understand my body. And she said, no, it looks like you play basketball. Yeah, you rich? Yes. I said, but honey, this is a different weight for me. I'm usually weighing, like, the heaviest I ever wore without being pregnant was 140 pounds. I'm 5'9.5".
Mm-hmm.
So me, once I had my baby, I was like 185, 190. That's a lot of weight.
That is, yeah.
And hadn't really walked or did anything in 9 months.
Right.
Honey, when I say she had me out there sprinting and doing like, yes, I said, and all I heard was my Achilles.
Are you serious? Oh my goodness.
Thing is that it did not pop, it strained, and I felt it, and the doctor was like, I'm amazed that you heard that.
Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, that's so coming from a corporate, I don't know if this was a corporate business that you went to, a fitness, or whether it was a private training you found online.
A private trainer I found online.
So the one thing that I've learned over the years is that this is not my program. It's your program. Mm-hmm. So I'm here to ask you all the questions. Like, I don't know how old she was in comparison to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never started you on no dang on sprints unless you told me I like to run. If I don't hear that, I'm not telling you to do it. Point blank. Somebody can tell me, hey, I love burpees. Great. I'm going to give you burpees. Me? You won't catch me doing no damn burpees. I'm not doing it. And I'm sorry that happened to you. And I've had a few clients where they've had kind of a bad taste in their mouth due to trainers not listening. And that's all it boils down to, is listening. I'm here to give you the advice, to tell you what I think would work after you've told me what you're going through, what your body is going through, how, your pregnancy, knowing that you had a late pregnancy, knowing that, you weren't doing anything for nothing. All of that stuff is absolutely important. So I'm sorry that you went through that, but I'm happy that you're not letting that affect you moving forward. You know what I mean? And that you're staying and that you're finding something that you can do for yourself, so that you can be there for your mom. And I've watched you and I'm like, she out there getting it, honey. And I love it. Like, I watch you all, and I don't like watching nobody. Like, I scroll, like I literally just kind of keep pushing, but I stop and watch you and I'm like, look at her go. I don't even, it makes me happy when I see my beautiful sisters, right? Especially us coming from where we come from, out there taking care of ourselves. You know what I mean? And I didn't even know you had a baby when you was 40. You and I are in the same boat. So your baby must have either be 9 or 8, because mine just turned 9.
Well, she's 11.
She's 11. Because you're older than me. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I had my baby at 39, and it was a different pregnancy than when I had my first child, because I was 18. I blew up to 200 pounds, but dropped it within 6 weeks because I was 18, Yeah. The weight that I put on my baby now, honey, and the only reason why it dropped is because I did a figure show. And it took me 10 months. I wasn't trying to rush it. It took me 10 months for me to literally get back on that stage again. And I did it slow. And it's, for the most part, it stayed off. And then I moved down here to the South and started eating Southern food. We won't talk about that right now. But I mean, I've kept most of it off, but I still enjoy life, right? And I still enjoy being able to eat foods. But the one thing that I do always do is have a consultation with my clients to figure out where they're at, whether they be female, whether they're male, you know what I mean? Just so I know that I'm not programming them in an incorrect way.
I like what you just said, that programming them in the incorrect way.
Yeah.
I like that. I do. I like that. So on that note, let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back. And then we're going to go a little deeper because I got some questions from Miss Marci. Okay. All right. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And we will be right back.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast with Nyomi Banks, where every day is a chance to embrace self-discovery and personal growth. Join Nyomi on a transformative journey, streaming exclusively on Spotify and Breaker. With daily episodes from Monday through Friday, podcast is your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and self-love. Dive deep into engaging conversations about self-care, mindfulness, and personal development. Nyomi brings you expert insights, practical tips, and uplifting stories from thought leaders in the field. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and unlock the power of self-love. Mark your calendars and tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast, available every weekday on Spotify and Spreaker. Remember, it's time to prioritize yourself and embrace the beautiful season of self-love. Get inspired and join Nyomi Banks on the Season of Self-Love podcast.
All right, well, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And I am here with Miss Marci Scott. She is the CEO and owner of Phoenix Tribe Fitness. Hey. Ready for these questions. Now, these are questions that's right up your... I need some answers to some of these questions. But today we're talking about finding our fitness, finding a way that works for you. And again, we have Marci here. And I just have a few questions. I want to start off with this question. Marci, if you can share a bit about your journey into the fitness industry and how that it inspired you to advocate for personalized fitness routines.
So me getting in the fitness business is because I remember looking in my closet one day. I remember looking in my closet and I couldn't fit anything. I didn't want to go up. I think I was at a size 12 at the time. And I'm like, I'm not buying a size 14. Now, again, this is not about body shaming anybody. This is for me, right? My height, my bone density at 5'5", being over 180 something pounds, that is not a healthy weight for myself. And that is what began my fitness journey, that moment right there. And so it continued on. As I said, I went and decided to do group fitness. And the more I got into it, the more that people started noticing that I was getting healthier, right? I was getting smaller and I was losing weight. And so then people were like, well, hey, I need some help. Can you help me? And I was like, no, not yet. No. Fast forward a little bit further, my ex-boyfriend at the time, he was like, hey, you should become a fitness trainer. And I'm like, you think? I do enjoy helping people, so why not? So then I got my certificate. And then my love for cycling came into play. So then I started cycling, got that certificate, got my very first job at 24 Hour Fitness as a cycle instructor and as a trainer, right? And that was my very first job in this second season of my life, right? And for me, learning in that environment and learning from other trainers that had been there way before me, that were veterans, was so inspiring. I met a lot of beautiful women, a lot of beautiful people. I got information, and then I realized that I didn't know much about nutrition. Because nutrition plays a key role. I remember this comment so vividly. I was talking to one of the trainers, and I was like, I'm not going to eat any carbs today. I'm just going to eat fruit. And he looked at me, and he was gay. He was like, fruit is carbs. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And so he was like, yes, honey, they're carbs. And I was like, dang. And then I realized I didn't know jack diddly squat about nutrition. So then I was like, I really need to get into nutrition. So the journey for me has been kind of a stepping stone to get to where I am right now. I remember before COVID hit, so this is I want to say maybe 2016, I realized that even as a trainer, I still needed more information. I decided to go back to school. I went back to school and I got my degree in nutrition and dietetics. And that's when I was like, I want to go online because I can have a wider range to reach people. And I initially really wanted to work with children, but then I was like, I don't know if that would really kind of how that would portray online. So then, because I had mostly male followers, I chose to work with dads, right? And I understand the male physique, the male body. I understand it just from a not a medical, but a professional point of view. And that worked really well. And I enjoyed working with men because I felt like they had a connection with me, and they had a female perspective, right? And on top of that, they could ask me anything that wouldn't offend me, right? I'm not going to be like one of those, well, why isn't this working? Or why is this color? Or, bodily fluids. And it's like, okay, I've been there, done that. I understand it. So here's my professional opinion. I chose this path, and so now I'm working with parents, so it's mothers as well as men, and I chose this path, and because again, I have a wider reach. I've had clients as far as Germany. I have a client now who's out of Britain, right? It just gives me that availability, so I don't have to just be stuck with just training those in person that are within my region, and I'm in Georgia right now. So that's why I've chosen this kind of personalized path. And again, it gives me the opportunity to really just kind of get to know people on a one-on-one basis. Because the way that we are right now, technology, right? I can have conversations the same way that I'm having a conversation with you, Zoom. So they feel that connection. So they know that I'm there. They can see my inflection, the way that I sound, look, move, and vice versa. I get the opportunity to do the same with them too.
And it gives a connection.
It's a connection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, here's another question. In your experience, what are some common misconceptions that people have about fitness and how we can overcome them?
That it's be all or nothing. that if you have a piece of pizza, that screw it, you've messed up and you can't eat anything else, or that you've got to starve yourself or run or do whatever cardio to burn it off. That is an absolute falsehood. I just had a margarita last night. It was so good. If anybody follows me, y'all know that is my jam. I love me some tequila. I love me some Prosecco, and I love me some margaritas. Honey, I go to Mexican every Sunday with my husband. I love it.
Well, that makes me feel good because, like, when I'm on a workout, like, literally, I like, okay, I'm not drinking no alcohol for 90 days or no, like, I go like that. And when you said that, I was snapping my hands like that. That is me. I'm like, I'm all or nothing type. And I know that could be very unhealthy for your mental because it's like you're starving yourself. But no, you go ahead because I can keep talking.
Yeah. But I mean, you're absolutely right. You're on the right track, right? So, and I always, like my new client that just signed up, she was like, oh my gosh, Coach Marci, I went out and ate the last 3 nights, so she didn't put it in her My Fitness Pal. And I was like, well, what'd you eat? She told me what she ate. It was like eggplant and like, a small thing. Right. And I'm like, that's one of the healthiest things you can eat. What are you talking about? I'm like, did you enjoy it? She said, yes. I said, then don't worry about it. Like, that's my answer. Don't worry about it. Now, if you're going out from Friday to Sunday gorging every single weekend, well, then that's gonna diminish your gains that you've had Monday through Thursday. You know what I mean? So it's not an all end all that bees all. All it is have a treat meal, right? Have that treat drink. Summer is right around the corner. We're about to have barbecues, pool parties, 4th of July. My birthday's coming up. Like, I'm about to have fun and I still work out. I just make sure if I'm drinking, I'm not having any sweets. If I'm having sweets, I'm keeping my drinking very light, like wine or something, and only 2 glasses if at that, So that, I think that's a major misconception. It's really what you eat 80% of the time. That 20%, that's fine. That's healthy. That's balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's balance. Yeah. All right. So, okay. It is. And that's my So let me say this, is because it's something we talk about a lot here on the Season of Self-Love, about balancing, as well as balancing our energy, so, our energy on how we are with masculinity and femininity. But also it's just knowing that through balance, it goes in so many different aspects of your life. You understand what I'm saying? So even the other day, we talked about balancing with work and work in your personal life. So also, and I'm glad that you said it's also, if my listeners are listening, is that it's also a balancing when it comes to your health and physical, when you're working out, when you want to go into that new realm of having that new shape, a new body, of feeling better. There's still a balance to it. So really all of this has to do with your mental aspect and your mindfulness of being in that, and as well as how you feel about yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. Yes. You got to have balance in any and everything, and if you have a specific goal and you're trying to reach it, then I would say, don't have that drink, right? Save it for the event that you're preparing for, that's your treat meal, but yeah, it's all about balance, mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yeah. All right. So here's another one. How can individuals discover their own unique fitness needs and preferences? And what strategies or approaches do you recommend?
Try everything, right? Don't try, if you're looking for something that you're going to stick with, try everything. If you've never done hit training, try hit training, which is high intensity interval training. Try that, see how that works for you. You can do that 3 to 4 times out of the week, 20 minutes out of your day, and then go for walks. If you want to try to build more lean mass, don't try bodybuilding, right? Or try a lean mass program. So you just got to find what's going to work for you. And also think about the timing that you may have, right? Because I work from home, I've got more time to kind of spend 2 hours at the gym, but not everybody has that. So you've got to find something that's going to work within your time frame, whether or not you've got family, children, animals, dogs, whatever the case may be. Find whatever's going to fit within inside of your time frame. And if it felt good and you felt rejuvenated afterwards, that means that one's the right one for you.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this question, but we're going to come back. First, let's take a quick break because I was getting ready to go. Let's take a quick break. All right. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. William C. Washington, aka Dr. Will, your friendly neighborhood counselor. One of the biggest things that I want to tell you about is that I'm a health psychologist, a licensed professional clinical counselor supervisor, an MDMA-assisted therapist, a ketamine-assisted therapist, a psychedelic integration prep specialist. I'm a researcher, a mentor, a supervisor, and also an artist. One of the biggest things about Washington Wellness Institute is that I created this to modernize the way that we look into the world. And I hate to say it, but we're finally getting rid of the old ways of thinking. I want to bring in the silver age of psychology. And to do that, I've even created a model called restorative enhancement modality that focuses on motive and purpose to make healing a lifestyle. I want to offer this to you. I want to offer this to the world and to anyone that's ready to learn. So, if you're ready, sign up today. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, well, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And today we're talking about fitness for all and finding what works for us or for you. And I have the beautiful Marci here. Yes, she is the CEO and she is the founder of Phoenix Tribe Fitness. All right, so before I ask the first question that I was going to ask before, Phoenix. Where I want to know what's behind that word. Is there a meaning to it? Help me, show me, tell me.
So Phoenix Tribe Fitness came from with me, meaning I was trying to find something that I could show the rebirth of myself, right? And with that being said, when you think about phoenixes, they are born from ashes. They are reborn. So I felt like that was a really good logo and a group name to name my business, because I wanted people to feel like they were it was inclusive, and that you have to go through struggles. You got to go through the fire, but on the other side, you're going to be reborn and you're going to come out renewed. And that also kind of goes for me starting this business, right? Again, I'm in the second season of my life. And so I myself went through the fire and I've been reborn. Phoenix Tribe Fitness. That's where it came from.
Beautiful, beautiful. I kind of thought that, but I needed to hear it for myself. And I kind of thought that. I didn't want to assume nothing, but
Yeah.
I kind of thought that. All right. So one of the questions that I have, because I've tried several different things, especially keto. Keto was usually my go-to with the keto diet, with the low carbs and all of that. Yeah. And I did it for a good 4 years. I did it. Did pretty well with it. For you, with the keto, the intermediate diet, all of these fat diets, what are your thoughts on those?
The diet that I find that if whatever diet you're going to do is find a diet that you're going to stick with, regardless of whatever it is. I've tried the Whole30, so not exactly keto, but I've done Whole30, and that worked for me in a sense where I lost body fat and it helped inflammation come down. I've prescribed the keto diet usually to my pre-diabetic clients that I've had in the past. My go-to for diabetes, pre-diabetic, cholesterol, and sodium is usually the Mediterranean diet because it's the simplest and the easiest, and it's been studied, and so it's just kind of easy to eat that way. When you go on the Mediterranean, you see the way that they eat over there, like it's all fresh fruits, veggies, low meat, red meat, a lot of fish, mostly nuts and like fats, olives, right? And that's the diet that I normally go toward. IF, I know clients that like doing that. I've tried it. I'm not a fan of it for me personally because I like to eat. I like to eat. And so usually for me, I'm up at 5 a.m., 5:15. I'm usually eating breakfast no later than 6:15, 6:30 a.m. Like I can't go longer than that, like unless you want to see me grouchy and pissed off. Like I need to eat. My blood levels start to drop. So, but I have prescribed to people that like doing it. The only issue that I find when people do IF is that they're not eating enough. Yeah. So they end up taking IF like, okay, well, I'm only eating this meal, so I'll just eat once a day. Well, that's not what IF is. You still need to hit your macros, and macros are your proteins, fats, and carbs. You still need to hit your macros, and you still need to hit your caloric goals for the day, because your body still has to be able to operate. You have a metabolic resting rate no matter what. So at mine is like 15, 20. So no matter what, if I'm sitting still and at rest, my body is burning 1,520 calories. If I'm only eating 900 calories, guess what happens? My metabolism starts to slow down and I put on weight. I tell it to clients all the time when they first come to me. I'm like, the more you eat, the faster, the more you'll lose weight, point blank. And they don't believe me. They think that that's counterintuitive, and it sounds like it. Right. But however, the more you eat, the body starts to expel anything excess, because it's like, oh, wait, we're getting fed constantly. I don't need it. Right. Whereas if you're not eating enough, under 1,000 calories, 900 calories, your body is like, well, crap, they're not feeding us. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this because I don't know when my next meal's coming in.
That's what I said, girl, what you doing? Feed me.
Exactly. Right. So for me, like, I don't do IF, but I know clients that do. And I have guided them on the proper way of doing IF.
Nice. You were speaking right now. I've started to do the Mediterranean diet. That's a diet that my mom's doctor said for her to do. And so I figured, why not, kind of transform the whole household into that. I don't eat chicken and turkey, but the rest of the house eats chicken and turkey, which is fine. I still would cook some things like that. Red meat, for her, just having that conversation was like, well, Mom, you can't really eat that much. But like, who said I can't eat red meat? I said, well, the doctor said you have to eat, just a little, not as much red meat. But I'm going to do what I want to do. And so it's like,
Right.
so it's like, okay, we going to do this. And so my sister went and bought us a whole bunch of Mediterranean cookbooks, different cookbooks and stuff like that. So I said, okay, Mom, once a week, we're going to go in here and we're going to try to create a dish from out of this book. Mm-hmm. And she said, oh, okay. I said, yes, because we're trying. I said, remember, we're not doing any medication. She opted out of doing medication. Mm-hmm. So we have to find another way to manage this or reverse it or whatever, because, from different research, there's so many different things where they say with dementia and Alzheimer's, is actually another type of diabetes.
Okay.
So insulin or inflammation in the brain.
Yeah. Okay. I've never heard it referred like that. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so from there, I'm like, okay, let's try to find a way that we can slow it down without the medication, because overall, she's very healthy. She's 72 years old, no high blood pressure, no nothing, no diabetes. Like, she's healthy, but it's just, dementia. That's it. And so in that process is trying to find different things that will make her comfortable. So I figure if I'm doing it, if she's me doing it, then maybe she can be like, okay, me too.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too. Let me see. And so I'm making it as fun as possible that we can, with this journey. So even you saying the Mediterranean diet, I'm like, okay, so all of these things for me right now are confirmations for stuff, for things. Yeah, that's a lot with this is for me, is a lot of confirmation. So
yeah, Mediterranean diet is a really good diet. It's very easy to follow, and it's really good because it does have a lot of fats, which is also good for the brain too, which is where keto came from. Is that when I've done my research on it, doctors created keto because it was to help dementia and Alzheimer's patients to get more fat into the brain, and for the body to use more fat instead of being constantly using carbs. Well, then they realized that it was also great for losing weight. So then that's where it kind of went on its own little tangent and became like this newfound thing. So I'm glad that you're doing something that's, healthy. And I love the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm making a dish tonight. So I'm excited. Good. Yeah, I'm excited with it. All right. So first of all, thank you for that. So now let's talk about some more fitness tips or strategies that you can possibly share with our audience. Like, the different, hold on, I got my list there. Like, what's a good starting point?
So what I realized as I've gotten older, because I have back issues, I've got basically arthritis in my low back from years of lifting heavy and then walking in heels, doing shows, having that arch back, right? What I realized is that stretching is your friend. Everybody needs to stretch. I literally take 10, 15 minutes, depending on the day, whether or not I'm stretching early or not. I usually stretch right before going to bed. I used to do yoga in the morning, and I've gotten out of that habit. But I find that when I stretch at night, my hips, my low back, my hamstrings, because all of that stuff is connected, that when I wake up the next morning, I'm not waking up bent over like an old lady.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's one tip that I can definitely say is like, I just really suggest everybody stretch. And then here's something everybody can do. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. It's getting warmer. It's March. Spring is next week. I know some places still are dealing with rain, things of that sort. But like for us here, it's like 75 degrees. It's gorgeous outside. Just go for a walk, whether it's 10 minutes to 30 minutes. If you can on your lunch break, get out of the office, right? Get off your butt. Stop sitting down so much and get moving. The sun is going to rejuvenate you and revive you. A lot of people go through vitamin D deficiencies during the winter because it's so cloudy and rainy and they just don't get outside. This is that time to get it back naturally. So those are the two top things that I could definitely say that's easy and that everybody can do.
Yeah. Here's another question, because I know you did fitness training and you competed. And so I know a lot of times, and I've done it myself, bring supplements. Is supplements good for everyday people that works out and not, doing any, weight lift training?
Yes. I'm a fan of supplements. Here's why, because no matter what, we are not getting all of our nutrients, our micronutrients. Like, unless you're eating a crap ton of food, 3,000 something calories, you're not getting them all. So I suggest doing like a green powder. You can put it in your protein powder. Because I'm pescatarian, I have to eat certain things because I don't like eating fish all the time. So I do a lot of vegan protein powders. Sometimes I'll drink it twice a day. I'll put glutamine in it, which also helps repair the muscles so you don't feel as sore afterwards. I do creatine. Us ladies at over 40 need to be taking creatine because muscle starts to decline as we get older. And we all want that toned look, right? Which basically means looking more muscular and less having body fat. If you're trying to have that toned look, creatine is your friend if you're lifting weights, because it's going to help your muscles. What's my other go-tos? Vitamin E is great, right? That helps with our skin. We start losing collagen as we get older. I take vitamin E, I take collagen, I take hyaluronic acid pills daily, which is why people are like, you don't look your age. I know, because I'm taking supplements. And I don't have a problem telling people my age because I know I don't look like it, nor do I even act like it, which is, it keeps me young. Right. What else do I take? I take branched chain amino acids. That also helps with muscle deterioration and helps our joints. The collagen is really, really good for the collagen in our skin and our joints and our bones, right? If we start hearing things crick and crack when we get up, take some collagen. Vitamin D is also good to take. It's better to be outside, but if you can't get outside, vitamin D is a good one. And then for nighttime, magnesium is my friend. Magnesium, calcium, and zinc. Those are my friends. I take those every single night. If you take magnesium on an empty stomach, it helps your body get into that routine of getting ready for sleep. So it helps create, not melatonin. What is the word that I'm looking for? It creates the sensation that your body wants to sleep. And I can't think of the name of it. My brain just went blank.
That is actually time to shut down.
It is time. Yeah. So those are the ones that I take off the top of my head that I can think of. And I suggest everybody taking them. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason why you can't take them. If you're going to take creatine, I would suggest working out, because what creatine does is it pulls water into your muscles. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So if you're not working out, you're just going to look kind of more bulky instead of lean. You know what I mean? So I would suggest definitely working out 3 to 4 times a week and getting some cardio in if you're going to start taking creatine. But the other ones I would definitely suggest, especially for my people over 40.
You know, you saying creatine, that just because I stayed away from it. I've never used that in all of my years because I didn't want to look bulky. You know, that's when I heard that. I had a uncle that was a weight trainer, weightlifter. You know, he competed, and so that's all that I used to see on his in his cupboard. You know, and that's something that one of his daughters is doing right now. She does, you know, the competition and stuff like that, and that was so when you said and you made it like for women over 40 that you have to take this credit. I'm like, okay, so open your ears and listen to what she's saying and why you're saying it. So it's making sense to me now, because it kept coming up on my read the other day, and I'm like, why is this keep coming up on my read?
Yeah, creatine is good. Like I've been taking it I've been on it now for about 5 weeks, and I noticed that I can lift heavier, that my muscles aren't as sore. My recovery time is a lot better. Like it's definitely good. I have one of my clients out of Puerto Rico. She's taking it. She does a lot of tennis. She plays sometimes 2-3 times a day. So there's a lot of agility that she's doing. She's a lot of hitting, and she gets tired very easily. So I started having her take it, and she just reported back to me. She's been on it for about 3 weeks, and it's working out great for her. Like her recovery's better. She's not as sore. Her knees aren't as sore. So yeah, creatine is good. Don't be afraid of it.
Right. You know, thank you for that. I was just editing a video from an exercise I did the other day. And the biggest thing was that my recovery. I see that my recovery now has changed from what it was before. As we get older, like you said, things change. And I was like, you know, what do I need for this recovery? And I'll probably post the video either today or tomorrow once I finish editing. But, I put it out there like I'm, especially as women, as we get older, and even with the men, I'm not a gym rat. I was blessed to be able to work out, and my workout was dancing, running track, or playing basketball. Those were my three things. So I was never really at the gym, like that. Yes, I have something at my house right now, but it's just to get those, those different little areas in me. But I was never that type of person to do that. Now, in the past 10 years of my life, this has been, something for me. Never knew that I will ever be on what I call a yo-yo diet. I would have never, I would have never thought, thunk that. And I guess for even, you have people that's now, especially women that have children at a older age, in their 30s, late 30s, early 40s, something like that. Just to hear you say that, like, okay, no, ladies, we need to, because our muscles they're sagging, so we need to get some kind of nutrition to bring them up, on how we do this. And that's not really put out there. It's honestly is not. It's not, because when you look at it, you either have to be competing for something, for that to be a part of, and not just for everyday women that are trying to still live their best life and look their best way while embracing this full thing called life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the one thing. There's not a lot of, you're right. There's not a lot of things out there that say you should be taking creatine. And you're right. It's almost taboo when you're thinking about it, because you see mostly bodybuilders taking it, or girls who are bodybuilders taking it. Yes. But absolutely not. Everyday people can take it. If you're an active person, it's going to help with your recovery, right? Along with stretching. Don't forget the stretching.
Yeah, I have to get used to that stretching. I don't even understand. But when you said about waking up and being bent over and walking, I said, ding, 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 ding. Okay.
All right. I don't like it. I can't stand it. It pisses me off and I'm angry. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't stretch last night because I was too tired. And my body's like, I don't care how tired you are, you need to stretch. I'm not 20. Yeah, and so for me, it's a ritual. Like, it's if my daughter, she likes to sleep with me on the weekend, mama's girl. And I don't care how late it is. I don't care if it's only 10 minutes. I know the parts that stick for me, and it's my hips, it's my hamstrings, and it's my glutes and my low back. So all of the posterior chain for me is very sticky. And that's the part that if I don't stretch, I'm literally bent over like an 80-year-old woman. I'm too young to be looking 80.
Oh my God, I know that's right. I know.
And it's just, it's an easy thing. I think I'll probably at some point record a live video and post it on one of my sites so that people can see how easy it is to stretch. And I'm not doing anything overly the top. Like, and I stretch for my mobility. Whereas like when I'm stretching my clients, because sometimes I literally just do stretching sessions with them, like they're not as mobile as I am, right? And then I have clients that are more mobile than me. Like my daughter's more mobile than me. And I'm like, you little thing, how dare you? But I stretch her too. Right. I stretch my daughter too. I make sure that she stays loose. I use a little vibrating thing that I have for muscles on her. Like I make sure she's staying loose because she is an active, girl. She does dance. So, like, again, I practice what I preach. This is not just me saying you should do this and I'm not doing it. Every single night I stretch.
That's beautiful. Okay, so now let's go. We're now at the end of the show. I told you it goes quick, right?
It does go quick.
It goes quick. So what I want is what programs do you offer? And
so
where
right,
can they find them? Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said, and where can they find them?
So my programs it's a Nutrition for Life program. I'm focusing mostly on nutrition. With that nutrition program, if those that are looking for it, they can also get fitness and they get one-on-one coaching with me. We get weekly check-ins, video check-ins. You get an app that I have that has all of the workouts on it, as well as the form. So there's a little video on it too. But the Nutrition for Life program, it's a 6-month program. And I I cater and I customize the nutrition towards the client's taste. So if somebody doesn't eat fish, you'll never have fish on your diet. So, and that's where the 45-minute strategy call comes in, because it gives me and the client a chance to talk and make sure that we're on the same page, so that I'm not giving them something that are just like, Coach, I'm not going to eat that. You know what I mean? And like, you get meal plans every 4 weeks. It changes out. Workout plans change every 8 weeks. And like I said, it's a 6-month program. Anybody that's interested, just shoot me a DM. I had a website, but I realized, again, at the age that we're in with social media, everything is on Instagram. So if you're looking for holistic transformations, contact me on fitmom_Marci, and that's how you can find me. I do have some other sites too that I was debating if I wanted it to promote it, but because it is fitness, I am going to promote it. It was a challenge, and you already know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I decided to start an OnlyFans. And the reason being, and don't get too excited, y'all, there's going to be no, like, I'm not going backwards in life. I'm not going backwards. So please don't send me your penis pictures. I don't need to see them. I got to make a disclaimer, Naomi. Sorry. I'm so tired of looking at people who think that their penis is the best, and it's not. Like, I'm married. I'm happily married. I love looking at my husband's penis. If I've seen one, I've seen them all. I don't need to see any more. So with that being said, I am starting an OnlyFans, but it is fitness tailored. So I think I'm going to start doing live stretching sessions for live streaming on that platform, and then having open Q&As on there so that they can ask me whatever questions they want pertaining to fitness. Yes. Gotta put it out there. So I am on OnlyFans, and it's just under my name, Marci Scott. So those are the 2 platforms that I'm on.
All right. Well, you know what, beautiful. Thank you. This has been so great. It has, and we definitely have to keep in touch. You know,
yes,
we connected that last season, but this season, girl, we're connecting. We are connecting. We are connected. We are aligned. We are aligned.
And I'm happy to be aligned with you, honey. Just your energy is so amazing. It's beautiful, and I love what you're doing. Your show is amazing, and I'm so grateful that you asked me to be on.
Thank you. It is such a privilege. It's such a privilege. Again, thank you. Beautiful. It's such enlightening, this conversation. Everything has been so good. And to our listeners, I want you to remember that fitness is a personal journey of self-love. And it's about finding what makes you feel good and embracing it wholeheartedly. So a huge hug and a thank you to you. This is my, you guys just do not know how so very proud that I am of every woman that I have came across of in the past 10, 15 years of my life, and see the growth and the transformation of all of you. You do not understand. And that even you sitting on this platform with me, not on my other one, but on this platform for me, not only that, but your strength and your courage and even your resilience, it shows and it shines. And so I knew when asking you about Phoenix, I knew exactly what it was. And you are the exemplary of Phoenix Rising. So again, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you so much. And I'll try not to fight back tears, because I don't think y'all understand the work that goes in front of sitting and being your raw, authentic self. And I've watched this woman from afar come out and be her raw, authentic self in a whole nother avenue of places and things. And so I can imagine what that was for you, but we're going to talk about it on another show somewhere, somehow.
I'm excited about that too. I can't wait.
Yeah. But again, I thank you all. I thank everyone, my listeners. Please, again, make sure you reach out to her. She has some great info on her. I'm read it all the time that comes up on her thing, and I'm taking notes. You know, as Dr. Will would say, my purpose pen and my purpose paper, because that's what it is. And it was a question that I wanted to ask you too, and I should have asked you that. I'm gonna ask you before I leave. Mindfulness. How much of mindfulness that you use into your practices of what you do?
Constantly. I meditate driving to the gym. I meditate before going to bed at night. I am very aware of my actions and those that are watching me, like my daughter, because I'm always setting an example. And mind you, I have two. So I'm always trying to set an example for my children. I'm trying to set an example and just being who I am and loving myself, no matter if I'm thick, no matter if I'm not feeling my best, but just to understand what I'm feeling and not ever using or working my hardest, not ever using negative terminology toward myself. I'm not always positive, but I try to be 80% of the time. And at 20%, that's when I really just kind of sometimes just take a step back and take a mental health day.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I try to be, I work very hard at being mindful of how I'm coming across, how I speak to people, how I'm perceived. And sometimes I just can't help how others perceive me, but always, no matter what, being who I am and loving myself through thick and thin.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, beautiful. Thank you. All right, my beautiful listeners, look, keep moving and exploring and loving every part of your fitness and your journey. But don't forget to join us the next time on the Season of Self-Love podcast for more inspiration. So until then, I want to thank you, you beautiful people, and take care. Thank you for listening to the Season of Self-Love podcast. If you have any questions or would like to connect with us, you can follow us on social media. Just search for the Season of Self-Love on Instagram. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to email us at elevateme9999@gmail.com. And remember, you are worthy of love, growth, and happiness. So keep shining bright. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Season of Self-Love. Be good to one another and yourselves. And always keep it sexy. Sending light, love, and prayers.